All right. Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Nicholas. Welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to start by discussing what is technology. So, technology is a process humans modify nature to meet their needs and wants. Okay. So, what does that mean? Um, Trees and different materials grow naturally or are found naturally. So, we as human beings can modify trees to create lumber. We can then modify lumber to create furniture, which would satisfy a need. Okay, having a table can be pretty handy to things that we need to do or things that we want to do. Um, and yeah, you could say that you can fit things on a rock and that happens naturally, but creating tables to certain sizes and things like that definitely falls into technology. Technology and science have a lot of similarities, yet they are completely different. Okay, so technology is the study of our human-made world. Um, so it deals with things that can be, things that might happen. Okay, something like a bridge that can happen naturally, but more often we find that they're man-made or man-created. Okay, science is the study of our natural world, so things that happen naturally or occur naturally in our world. Um, Science deals with what is in our world, okay? And you can see more often than not, something like a waterfall happens naturally in our world. Technology and science are made up of subcategories. Um, so, just to name a few, uh, communication, transportation, production, which is actually divided into two subcategories, manufacturing or construction. So here's just kind of a historical timeline of a technology that most of us wouldn't even think of, but thousands of years ago when man first developed a wheel, that was technology. And not only was it technology, but that technology actually laid groundwork for an entire time in history. So we kind of show the development of the wheel and how it's been applied throughout history. Couple subcategories of science, and I do not mean that these are all that everything fits into. Earth science, biology, chemistry, and physics. Okay, and you can see there's a lot of different applications for science. Human wants and needs. So I just want to clarify that not everything that we think that we need um, is necessarily a need. There are only three basic things that humans need. Um, and technology can address both needs and wants. Okay, what are the basic needs? Okay, we have food and shelter, and there's one other human need for survival, and that would be water, which I didn't put a picture of this in. What are some human wants then? Everything else. Even though clothing is socially expected, it's not a need. You don't need to have clothing to survive. I would suggest to be accepted that you continue to use it though. Communication technology. So communication is the process of exchanging information. Okay. What are some ways that you can think we communicate? Extremely traditional. We use textbooks or books and Word. Okay. We've developed this telephone, which today is much more than just a telephone. The smart devices have taken it to a whole nother level. But historically, as you can see in this bottom middle picture, at one time you would pick up the phone, tell an operator who you wanted to be connected to, and they would have to move a wire from one part of this, it's called a switchboard, to another for you to make a phone call. This is extremely outdated cellular technology. You can see cell phones have come a long way from the switchboard. 20 years ago, something like GPS was only available to things like military. Now, again, with our smartphones, most of us have something with GPS in our pockets. Okay, this is something that I want you to focus on, and I'm going to kind of breeze over it because you're going to do a little bit of research on the positive and negative impacts that all technology can have. Transportation technology. So, transportation technology is created to move people, products, or animals from place to place. That's all transportation technology focuses on. Okay, so a couple different types of transportation. We have air transportation, land transportation, and water transportation. Okay, a couple examples. Planes, cars, trucks, trains would all be land transportation. And of course, we can have large ships or boats or things of that nature. Again, positive and negative impacts no matter what technology we look at. Okay. Production technology, again, broken down into two main areas. Okay. We can either have manufacturing technology, which typically happens on an assembly line or in a factory, and construction technology, where you're producing something that would stay on site. Okay. Manufacturing technology, again, typically takes place in a factory. So we have a raw material. So these are aluminum rolls. We make cans, and then cans go through a filling station of sorts, keep sanitized into sealed for consumption of a traditional soda can. Construction technology is a process of building structures on a site. There are three main purposes for these structures: to shelter, which is a basic need; to contain, so if we need to keep something in place; and then, or to support. So think about a couple of those different options. Here's some construction technology in its progression. So you can see we have a large bulldozer leveling some ground. We have some plans here. We have our materials. So this is just our wood from our tree, what's referred to as a stick frame, and then a house. Now these four pictures don't necessarily all go together, but the idea is that we go from manipulation of land to manipulation of materials into something that will protect us and fulfill a need. Okay. And positive and negative impacts, these technologies. Okay. What makes them worthwhile? Technological resources. So all technology needs to start somewhere. Okay. So there's 7 basic groups that go into deciding if a technology should be created and if it's worthwhile. So we start with people. So people will identify a need for a technology and weigh the pros and cons and develop and make a decision. Typically, most companies are run by a board that would make these decisions. We have plans, so we create information on the technology, how it's going to look, how it's going to work, where it's going to fit, making sure that it's safe. All of these things are addressed in the information. Capital. In today's society, we can't create technology without money. We need to pay for materials, workers, machines, or tools if that's what we need for our given technology. Okay? Don't forget about those materials. Tools or machines, which can range in size, where you have tools that you can put a dozen tools into a bucket, or you can have machines that are as big as a building. Okay, we need energy, whether it's personal energy to construct something or to work, or if we're powering big heavy duty machines. we need some kind of energy. Technology needs time to be created. Okay, it doesn't happen naturally. We need to create it. So that's just our quick insight into what technology is, some of the things that we need to consider before we utilize technology or develop it. Okay. All right. Thank you for listening, and we will talk soon.